Hi, do you know the meaning of the word engrossed? How about the word hiatus? In today's video, we're going to read and learn advanced vocabulary words and phrases from a news article. And this is an article from EuroNews.com. This article talks about a survey, and that survey found that many people who used to travel internationally are now reluctant to do so, especially people in Japan. Now, my goal with these videos from the news article series is to help you express yourself in English on a wide variety of topics, whether it is productivity, healthcare, finance, or the economy. I want to help you go from intermediate to where you are now to confidently advanced. There's also a free PDF that summarizes today's lesson. In addition, there's also a free speaking document that you and your speaking partner can use to practice speaking. The content is about the article that we are going to read today, and you're going to find the link to that in the description down below. Now, if you're ready, I'm going to transfer to my computer and let's go ahead and get started.
All right, now let's go ahead and get started. Let's read the headline first. All right, let's read together. More than a third of people in this Asian country don't ever plan to travel again. Here's why. Now let's take a look at the sub-headline. Many travelers have been making up for lost time this year. But as borders open and pandemic fears subside, not everyone is hopping on the next flight. Okay, now let's read the first page. People are traveling internationally again after the hiatus that was caused by the coronavirus pandemic and the subsequent lockdowns. Many people are using the money they saved while borders were closed to embark on their bucket list trips. However, others are showing a reluctance to dust off their passports. A travel report from the Morning Consult website analyzed 16,000 surveys from people in 15 countries. All right, now let's take a look at the first word we have, to make up for lost time, to make up for something. So to make up is a verb, which means to compensate something. Okay, so for example, I worked extra hours to make up for being absent at work. So I worked extra hours, could be 8 hours or whatever, to make up or to compensate for being absent at work. Another meaning is to compensate for something that you did bad. Okay, so here's another meaning of making up or make up. So it is to compensate for something bad. So for example, you need to treat me out to dinner to make up for being late yesterday. Yeah, to make up, you need to compensate. You need to treat me out to dinner to make up for being late yesterday. Another example is, let's say someone did something bad to you. So how can you make this up to me? How can you make this up to me? You're late. You made me wait 5 hours. So how can you make this up to me? You can make this up to me by taking me out to dinner, or you can make this up to me by buying me a new pair of shoes. Or if you did something bad to another person, or let's say your friend, let's reverse the roles. So let's say you guys are going to meet up and you made her wait 5 hours or something like that. So you could say, oh, sorry about that. How can I possibly make this up to you? Sorry about that. How can I possibly make this up to you? And here's another example. So let's say you fought with your cousin and it was an ugly fight or something. So your mom says, go and make up with your cousin. You need to make up. Okay, so and the third meaning is to settle something. For example, can you please make up your mind? Okay, where do you want to eat? Can you please make up your mind? Or, I made up my mind to move. All right, so the next word that we're going to learn is subside. So in my previous videos, I have talked about subside. So this is a verb which means to become less. So let's say a child has a fever, you measured her temperature using a thermometer, and the thermometer reads 39 degrees Celsius. So you gave her medicine and waited for her fever to subside. And let's say you also had a major surgery and the doctor said you're going to be in a lot of pain in the next few days, but here are some painkillers that you can take until the pain subsides. Or let's say if you're working as a customer service representative and you happen to take a call and the customer is pretty angry, pretty irate, so you need to wait for the customer's anger to subside, and then that's a time that you're going to help the customer. All right, and now let's take a look at this word. So we have hop on the next flight. Let's hop on. Hurry up, hop on. Hop on is an informal way to say to jump onto something or to join something very quickly. It is similar to get on a plane, get on a bus, or a bike. Hop on. Okay, so for instance, let's hop on a plane, or let's hop on a bus, or let's hop on a bike. Similarly, if you want to invite someone to get on the bus or get on a bike, hop on. Here, hop on. Let's go. Hop on. So another use of hop on is to get on a call. To hop on a call. So we can say hop on a call. Do you have time to hop on a call with me real quick? Do you have time to get on a really fast call with me real quick? It could only probably take 5 minutes. Please, let's hop on. Another way you could use this is to hop on a shower. Okay, so I'm going to hop on the shower real quick. Maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. Now, obviously, the opposite or the antonym of this is to hop in. To hop in the car. It means to get in the car. So if you invite someone, hey, hop in, let's go. Or get. For example, I actually had a break with teaching. So I had a break for 6 years. So I could say I came back after a 6 year hiatus, a 6-year gap. So before I used to teach, but I stopped for 6 years. It's because I had to move and all that stuff. But I came back after a 6-year hiatus, a 6-year break. Okay, so next we have the word subsequent. Subsequent is an adjective which means following in time, order, or place. Subsequent events. For example, more on this lesson will be discussed in subsequent videos. Now, the adverb of this is subsequently. Subsequently. So, for example, the fights were subsequently resolved through counseling. Counseling. Okay, so next we have the word embark or to embark. To embark is a verb which means to go on board a vehicle. To go on board a vehicle. Or some sort of transpo. Transpo meaning transportation. Okay, so for example, get ready to embark. So get ready to embark on a ship. Now, the other meaning of this is to start. For example, I embarked on a new career. Previously, I mentioned that I had a 6-year hiatus. So I used to teach and then I stopped for 6 years and then I came back after a 6-year hiatus. It is because I embarked on a new career, and that is business. I have my own small online business that I run. All right, so another example is for me, I want to embark on a new career. So if you want to be specific what kind of career that is, you could say as a content creator. Okay, so for me, I want to start on a new career as a content creator. And since this is a verb, you can conjugate this. In the present continuous, you could say, I am embarking on a new career. So let's say you and your friends saw each other, so you say, oh, how are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? So now I'm embarking on a new career and I want to be a content creator. So future tense is I will embark on a new career. Okay, so I will embark on a new career. What career? So I don't know. I will embark on a new career as a insert career here. Oh, by the way, guys, if you need the speaking document, so you and your speaking partner can practice speaking, so the document is available here on my website, so you can just click the link in the description and download it on my website. All right, the next word that we're going to learn is the bucket list trips, specifically the bucket list. So what is a bucket list? A bucket list is a list of things a person wants to do before that person perishes or before that person dies. So for example, if you want to ask someone what's on their bucket list, what you want to do before you die, so you could say, what is on your bucket list? What are the list of things that you want to do before dying? What's on your bucket list? For me, traveling to Scotland is on my bucket list. I really want to go there, so traveling to Scotland is on my bucket list. If it's not, let's say your friend want to ask you, oh, do you want to travel to the Amazon? So we say, oh no, it's not on my bucket list. No, it's not. Also, let's say your friend brought up Scotland. So you would say, oh, the Scotland is actually very cool. That has been on my bucket list for a very long time. So let's say I did travel to Scotland, so I achieved it. So I achieved it. So you would say, I crossed off my bucket list. When you say something that is crossed off your bucket, so when you say that something is crossed off your bucket list, you have already achieved it. You've already done it. All right, the next word that we're going to learn is reluctance. Reluctance or reluctant. Okay, reluctant is an adjective. Reluctance is the noun. Okay, adjective reluctant. Reluctance is the noun. Okay, so for example, in the past when I was young, I was always dreaming to go abroad, but now I am reluctant to go abroad. With all the prices rising, and when I learned that the rent prices abroad is actually too high, now I am reluctant to go abroad. Oh, and the meaning of reluctant is you are showing, or it is a feeling or showing hesitation or unwillingness. Now I'm reluctant to go abroad, but in the past I was so for. Now I'm reluctant to go abroad, but in the past that was my dream, is to go abroad. Now I'm reluctant to go abroad. Okay, so here's another example. I actually have a very bad eyesight. Actually, I have eye problems. I have eye problems, but am reluctant to get eye surgery. If you don't know what that eye surgery is, that's called LASIK. So this is for people like me who have very high prescription. So meaning to say I need to wear glasses, otherwise I'll be like Velma and I can't see. So if you have these type of eye problems, in order to fix that, you need to get a surgery called LASIK. So I have eye problems, but I'm reluctant or I'm hesitant or I'm unwilling to get eye surgery. It's because I heard horror stories about that being painful, and not only that, it is pretty expensive as well. All right, now let's read the next paragraph. So read with me. The site found that 15% of South Koreans and 14% of Chinese and Americans never want to travel again. Those most unwilling to travel were the Japanese. The report stated that almost 35% of Japanese respondents claimed they never wanted to leave Japan. There are many reasons for Japanese travelers being disinclined to venture overseas. One is a newfound desire to explore the culinary and cultural delights Japan has to offer. Many people traveled domestically during the pandemic and rediscovered their love of Japan's stunning nature and heritage. All right, now let's take a look at the word unwilling. So the prefix means no or not. So that means not willing. For example, the children are harder to teach because they are unwilling to learn. Okay, so that is very true. It is because I teach children currently, and they are harder to teach than adults because they are very unwilling to learn. They prefer to play. Unwilling can also mean stubborn. For example, in the past, I was an unwilling student. I was a stubborn, or I was an unwilling student. All right, the next word, so we have disinclined. So Japanese travelers are being disinclined to venture overseas. So disinclined is an adjective. This means that they are unwilling to travel because of a minor dislike or disapproval. A minor dislike or a minor disapproval. All right, so for example, I am an introvert and I do not like to open up to people, especially to strangers. So I would say I am disinclined to open up, especially to strangers, especially to people I don't know. I am disinclined. I am very unwilling because I don't like to open up to people I don't know. All right, and this one is culinary, meaning food, and cultural, meaning culture. All right, and obviously domestically, meaning it is something. Domestically, meaning it is local. All right, now let's go to the last page. Now read with me. A Kyoto tour guide said, "I've been consistently amazed at my clients' reactions at seeing the sights of the city. I've never known Japanese people to be so engrossed in their history and tradition. Other reasons are cost and a desire to be green." Tokyo resident Kai Ueno said, "Flying isn't sustainable in this climate crisis. I'd much rather travel locally and spend the airfare on nicer hotels, restaurants, and experiences in Japan." Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure about this pronunciation because I'm not Japanese. Ueno, probably. Okay, let's go to the word engrossed. Engrossed. Engrossed is an adjective, and this means having all your attention absorbed by someone or something. So this is very useful, and I think this is something that you need to add to your vocabulary. So you could use this to talk about people who are deep in their conversation. So you could say they seem to be engrossed in conversation. So you see two people, or they are so deep in conversation, so you could say they seem to be engrossed in conversation. All right, so here's another example. So let's say you are reading a book. So you would say something like, "I found myself engrossed in a very good book." All right, so let's take a look at this one. A desire to be green. If you are desiring to be green, you want to be sustainable or eco-conscious. So you want to be sustainable, you want to be eco-friendly, or you want to be eco-conscious. And the last one is flying. So flying isn't sustainable in this climate crisis. So flying refers to flying an airplane. Flying not because you have wings, but you're on a plane. So flying isn't sustainable.